guy doesn't even know his name, but he does say that he's going to contact him about the kidnapped children's incident. I believe that around this time, in 1987, is when Henry starts making games explicitly for the trapped souls to play through, to be able to experience, so he can communicate with them. Save Them takes place after the KCI, and allows the player to see what happened. Follow Me takes place after the suits are torn apart. And the FNAF 4 minigames, I believe, were created sometime between FNAF 1 and 3 in the 23-year time gap. The same time gap where Mike is having the nightmares that make up the main gameplay of FNAF 4. Mike is dreaming about 1983, while Henry made a game depicting those events that somebody on the flip side is playing through for them to experience. It's like that one episode of Avatar: The Last Airbender where Aang and Zuko are both learning about their shared ancestor together at the same time, but Aang is viewing it like through magical spirit world nonsense where he's actually there, but Zuko is just reading about it in a scroll, but the show uses the same method of telling us the story by use of a flashback. So like the minigames player and Mike are both experiencing FNAF 4 at the same time. Mike is experiencing it in his dreams, and the minigame player is experiencing it by playing the minigames that were created for them. It's at the same time contemporarily, but it's about something that happened a long time ago in 1983. So that means that we have dual protagonists in FNAF. While Mike is having nightmares about 1983, the other protagonist, a spirit who can affect the real world and be affected by the real world, is also experiencing 1983. But who is that second protagonist? Who is playing these arcade games? Well, it's Golden Freddy, one of the MCI kids, who the community has dubbed the Vengeful Spirit, and Cece will share Golden Freddy. We've seen Cece possess Golden Freddy, and Charlie possessed the puppet, without any outside help, and then the puppet gave life to Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy. But it really appears like the Vengeful Spirit was able to possess Golden Freddy by themselves, the same way Cece and the puppet possessed their characters by themselves. This lends to the idea that the spirit is more powerful or meaningful, something like that. It becomes confirmed 100% later that this is the case, that one of the MCI kids is just angrier than the others, hence the Vengeful Spirit moniker. But without any of that creature information, I think it can be understood what we have so far. The Vengeful Spirit was able to hold on to their consciousness more strongly than the others, because they were killed in a spring-locked suit, instead of being stuffed into a regular suit after death. So the Vengeful Spirit and the puppet are very aware, and Cece becomes aware because Cappy is dead. That frees up the Vengeful Spirit to be the player of FNAF World, and the one witnessing all of these mini-games. But again, some of the mini-games are in-universe games. Some of them are just things Henry created to communicate with the spirit world. But even the real ones are being altered. There's a voice spelling out S-I-M, and that's Henry, talking to the Vengeful Spirit. The Vengeful Spirit was not present for Charlie's actual murder. This game was likely made and was experienced after FNAF 2, which is when we played it, even though it takes place in 1983, which is when the murder happened. The minigames are games within the games, depicting events that actually happened. The minigames in FNAF 4 depict events from 1983, but were created years and years later. Five Nights at Freddy's is two parallel stories. Mike Schmidt, for the Vengeful Spirit, the father of Charlie, the first victim of the purple guy. Both stories come together in FNAF 3 to make Happiest Day. I'm going to bring this all up again after we discuss FNAF 5, and then everything can make a lot more sense. FNAF World has multiple endings. If you don't listen to or find George Fredbear, then you get to a final boss. That boss is depicted by Scott Cawthon's Steam profile picture, and in the while to us this is clearly a reference to Scott, I think in-game, in the game of the game, it's supposed to be a representation of Henry. He is multiple times called the Puppet Master, and Henry did invent the puppet and is Charlie's father. If any character is the puppet's master, it's Henry. And this character is the Puppet Master and creator of the game, the FNAF World game. It's Henry. On layer 1 of FNAF, it's a game where you fight Henry, and like all video games, the final boss is a representation of the creator of the game. Obviously, it's their final challenge to you. He says,
It was fun being the puppet master, but now I grow weary.
But on layer 2 of FNAF World, someone is saying, don't listen to the stupid NPCs that Henry populated this game with. This is an actual game, ignore that quest. You set up CC. Toward the end of the game, Glitch Fredbear says,
Attacking the game's security system will not accomplish anything. Get the key, but ignore the Guardians. If you have succeeded in setting the clocks, then your true goal will be revealed once you have the key.
Within the game, the Guardians are big enemies, like the but if you interpret this in a meta sense, what's being said is, hey Vengeful Spirit, don't attack security guards and Freddy's, go set up Happiest Day. Which leaves the question of who or what is Glitch Bear. Glitch Bear is helping the Vengeful Spirit to put Cece back together, but is very antagonistic in tone and characterization. He also hates the Puppet Master, which we've determined is Henry, and he's represented by a corruption of Fredbear. Well, I can't answer that. Let's have another chat after FNAF 5. Woo! Throughout the game, you have to traverse through the world by kinda skipping through dimensions and wormholes and entering glitches. But you're told not to go too many glitches down. If you do go too many glitches down, you end up here, in a red forest, at a red lake, with whatever this thing is. He's fishing. You can walk up to him, and if you talk to him, he says,
I'm sorry to say that you have gone too deep into the code. There is no way back out. My name is Old Man Consequences.
keep in mind there are multiple endings in that world, including one where the entire universe ends because you chose Fredbear as your starting leader, and then you talk to Fredbear, and it causes a paradox. There's also one where you fight Chipper from Chipper and Son, and you can his. So yeah, not everything in the game is canon. This ending is Old Man Consequences isn't something that actually happens in the This is a dead end. It's just a silly end screen. Like when the universe ends. It's not real.
Keep running.
Right? Well, there is one way out. You can glitch one glitch further by entering the lake. If you rapidly alternate left and right, descending into the lake, you will then fall for a while before you see this.
Be careful left.
This screen has two main interpretations. An angel welcoming you, with its arms spread out and its wings behind it. Or the view of three people from behind being lit by a television screen. With all three holding each other in their arms. I think it's that one, but I won't be able to explain why for quite a while. You'll know I'm getting back to talk about this topic when I start an entire section called Mr. Hippo's Wild Ride. We're gonna head on out of this long discussion of the games for a minute, and we're gonna talk about real life. FNAF World was released in January 2016, like I said, and immediately it received a lot of backlash, and I get it. It was kind of janky, like just put on a Bear game, who cared? Well, Scott cared. He refunded everyone who bought the game, reworked it a little bit, and then re-released it for free. One of the reasons besides this initial bad press that people don't ever really think about this game that much is solely because Markiplier didn't play it. Markiplier, more so even than MatPat, put FNAF on the map by making a hit series playing the games. I talked earlier about how FNAF is perfectly made Let's Plays, and it really is, and Markiplier was supposed to be. He skipped FNAF World because it didn't seem interesting to him. The vast majority of the fan base who don't play the games and just watch Markiplier play them and then hop on over and watch MatPat explain them didn't really experience it. Scott went on to say that it was the biggest mistake, and I think part of that was the poor reception. He says he regrets how he tied it into a lore and made it canon. And I think that's either one, because he made a decision in that game that he is now bound by because it's canon, or two, it's the key to everything, and nobody played it, so they don't understand the series. And I think it's actually, without FNAF, no one's gonna sit there and say to themselves, yeah, I think there's a mirror dimension of video game characters that are impacted by the real world, and that FNAF is actually a parallel story of the main gameplay and the minigames being experienced in parallel universes and these two protagonists leading to FNAF story's finale. Because why would you think that? Unless you're me. And you wrote over 100 pages of FNAF explanations and dedicated 9 years of your life to study this nonsense. There's a house in FNAF World you can enter to meet Deskman. Deskman says,
Well, what are you doing here? I'm busy. It wasn't supposed to be like this. Now it's all a mess. Of course now, there's only one thing to do. Come back later, and maybe I will tell you more.
Which is probably a reference to FNAF World being a mess with his boy Scott. And in the talks about his boss battle about how it was. The chipper boss battle was obviously very hard. So it makes sense that this is a tongue-in-cheek way of apologizing about the state of the game, as well as hinting to what's going to come out next when you come back later. Much like FNAF 4, FNAF World had a Halloween update, which came out on May 13th, 2016. It's called the Halloween update because it's themed around Halloween, not because it came out on Halloween. Not everything is so literal, guys.
Don't be so literal.
After you apply the update, in order to play the new content, you have to talk to Destiny, who says,
It's a vicious cycle, you know? But then, most things in life are. Pendulum swings one way, then it swings the other. Now we return to darkness. Something terrible is coming. Come back later. Maybe I will tell you more.
This is in reference to Scott working on FNAF 5. He said in an interview after the fact that FNAF 4 was so dark that he needed to take a break and work on something else, which is why FNAF World is so fun. It's all puns, colors, it does have some comedy, but overall it's just so fun. It's kind of funny, when I was writing this paragraph, I was watching through part of Matt Pat's playthrough, and he literally said this exact same thing about that.
I think what it is you had that world which was light, happy, and fun, and now it's swinging back to the spectrum. Everyone was talking about the sister location with the new FNAF 5, I guess at this point, FNAF 5.
Yeah, I was thinking
So I guess I'm just stupid. If you talk to Fredbear, who's standing outside Destina's house, he's next to a big log, and he says,
The game bombed. End of story. I've already put in my application at the Fazburger down the street. The problem is that now, he has gone insane. We don't know what he is making, and we can't reach the room where it is being kept. Whatever it is, it has everyone around here on edge. This is where the Halloween characters and others were sent to have their code recycled for spin-off games. Put a stop to those games and save those characters. Then find the last area and uncover its dark secrets.
So the update is really a collection of mini-games you have to beat to unlock characters to the final boss. Deskman is required to Scott, same time for him being Henry, using that world to communicate with spirits still works. The game maker is going a little crazy. Maybe because his daughter died. Maybe because he made something terrible. The mini-games included are FNAF 57, Freddy in Space. Freddy in Space is a send-up to Metroid, and depending on how you beat it, you can unlock Coffee, Purple Guy, or Jacko Bonnie. We'll talk about Jacko Bonnie in a second. Foxy Fighters, a parody of Star Fox. You can unlock Jacko Chica or Nightmare Balloon Boy. These characters first appeared in the Halloween update for FNAF 4, along with Jacko Bonnie and other Halloween-type characters. Scott made it super duper clear that that update was not canon, but now the characters kind of are.
do a barrel roll.
Don't forget me! Don't worry! Flippy's here! Do something!
You won't get tired of my voice, will you? Smack your mama! You won't get tired of my voice, will you? You won't get tired of my voice, will you? You won't get tired of my voice, will you? You won't get tired of my voice, will you? You won't get tired of my voice, will you?
Foxy.exe. This is Sonic.exe, but Foxy. This isn't even really a game, you just kind of walk out. In the first section, he says, "Listen to my voice, and you will find the key." Meaning each section, you just listen to him. Second section, he says,
When you can see, how fast can you flee?
If you walk, you'll eventually see Freddy, so you have to walk in the opposite direction instead of touching him, or you lose. If you do lose, Foxy takes up the whole screen and says, "All your base are belong to us."
All your base are belong to us.
Because the whole game is a joke. Third stage, he says, "Be sure your step through the heart of madness."
Be sure your step through the heart of madness.
Which apparently means, hide behind the rocks so the skeletons don't jump scare you. When you beat it, you unlock Nightmare Realm. Chico's Magic Rainbow Land. This is a rage platformer, which were all over the place back when Flash games existed. It's a whole trial and error, and you have to not be killed by this rainbow, who gets progressively more insulting as you go until you run out of lives.
Point.
Nailed it.
The game doesn't display your lives, but the rainbow eventually kicks you out.
No, it isn't. Stop lying to me.
No.
I don't believe you.
Oh, what?
Are you kidding me?
Also, the rainbow is voiced by Debbie Derryberry, the voice of Neutron. Also, Toy Chica is voiced by Amber Lee Connors.
You won't get tired of my voice, will you?
She's like a legit voice actor. She voices Peak in Attack on Titan, and also a bunch of other major and minor roles in animes I've never heard of. And she got her start as Android 18 in Dragon Ball Z Abridged.
How quickly bravado goes out the window when you're flat on your ass.
Bingo! Got him!
How is the strangest thing about this game the fact that there's a mission where Android 18 gets relentlessly mocked by Jimmy Neutron?
Jimmy! Wake up! Time for school! Better activate bedroom android.
A new threshold.
What do you want?
Depending on how fast you beat it, you can unlock Mr. Chipper or Cannon Dude. If you talk to Purple Guy, he says,
Boy, don't confuse me with the actual purple guy. I'm just a games friend.
or maybe this is corrupted by William's murderers. After getting a good game's head into Dice, the boss of which is Dice. And then you find out the real boss of which is the Rainbow. And when you win, you look behind this thing again.
I'm impressed. What are you doing here? Can't you see that I'm busy? You deactivated my games. I don't know what else to do. I don't want to disappoint people. But my mind isn't right. I've made something terrible. Her name is Baby. It's too late to deactivate her. I'm sorry.
Once again, if you interpret Deskman as Scott, then he's saying these games were bad, and now he's made something also of low, terrible quality, and then its name is Baby. Or if this is Henry, then you've destroyed his attempts to reach the flip side, and now his mind isn't right, and he's created Baby. But who is Baby?
Meet my indomitable spirit.
The show will begin momentarily. Everyone, please stay in your seats.
You won't get paid. It takes two to tango. Oh, hey, make it right.
I'll defend rightly.
It's important to note that these yellow eyes are not square, they have a star shape. This is not the same person. This is not the remnant-injected human who spoke to Cece earlier. It's another pair of eyes who maybe was able to communicate in some way, and is also Also, Desk Guy is dead. So it's possible that after making baby, Henry killed himself. That is what happened in the books. In the books, William kills Charlie. Henry then takes this doll and cries over it. So Charlie's remnant and his agony mix together, and Charlie possesses the doll. Then Henry builds 4 progressively older-looking robots so that Charlie can have her essence put into them and grow up like a normal person. The 4th one he makes is Baby. He also tells Charlie that it was actually her brother Sam that died, but in reality, his wife took Sam and then just left because he'd gone crazy and was building a bunch of robots. So after Henry builds Baby, he builds it and like he's really angry. He puts all of his anger and malice into it, and after he does that, he realizes he's done messed up. So he kills himself. He also instructs his sister, who's going to be raising Charlie, to never let Baby out of her closet. And so William steals her and turns her into Baby. So these events in the game are currently one-to-one with the book, in that after Charlie died, Henry builds a robot that becomes Baby and then kills himself. In the very near future, this will no longer be one-to-one with the books. Okay, but we still gotta figure out who is who, and that answer can be found in
right tower is under attack.
Sister Location's title and trailer was released on May 21st, 2016, about a week after the last so far, which I hope you have been, because there will be that. Then the words Sister Location on failure as your sister location. This has nothing to do with that, even a little bit at all, probably. But that is what everybody thought when this game was announced. So, we were all primed going into it to think it would be about something totally different than what it was actually about. Sister Location was October 7th, 2016. But you can better believe there were some shenanigans on Scott's website leading up to the release. There was never just one. Gee, I wonder why people thought this would be about Sister Location. These are those kitty bag things I hate. They were just so vague and it canceled. This was part of a hoax where Scott kind of pretended the game wasn't because someone had leaked it. Part of the image is basically about the grand opening of Circus Baby's Pizza World in America due to gas leaks. The source code for electronics to be rented out, giving us the names Funtime Friends. It also included phrases like Afton Robotics, Chica's Party World, Private Birthday Booking, Children's Entertainment, Service Log, Maintenance, and CRM Against. People debate about the CRM Against and popular speculation of being Criminal Institute or Crewman Institution. I'll explain exactly what that stands for later. The Steam description reads, in part, "Welcome to Circus Baby's Pizza World, where family fun and interactivity go beyond anything other. Sister Location is not in one spot and have to defend against animals.
Come on and hit me!
Hard levels. Sister Location is a full action. Each night is a completely different challenge with a strong focus on narrative with full voice acting. Buckle up, because we're going to talk about a whole lot of story right now. Obviously, when it comes to the story in FNAF games, there are 3 aspects. One is the story that's actively being told. Like FNAF 2, the story is Jeremy surviving the week, and then being put on the day shift. The second part is the story being told in the background. So like the mini-games, the phone dialogue.
Triple key.
Part 3 is the lore. That would be Shadow Freddy, Shadow Bonnie, Chica missing her beak, etc. Sister Location being completely linear means that all of these things are experienced by the player at specific times in a specific order. There are no random, just background Easter eggs. You're being told a story. You're open with another story, as well as being fed information about the series. And that's really the only way to cover the game, so this might get a little confusing. The game opens with dark cutscene can impact the baby. I'll play it for you now.
There's no doubting what you've achieved on a technical level. These are clearly state-of-the-art. There are just certain design choices that were made for these robots that we don't fully understand. We were hoping that you could shed some light on this.
She can dance. She can sing. She's equipped with a built-in helium tank for inflating the temperature right at her fingertips. She can take song requests. She can even dispense ice cream.
With all due respect, those aren't the design choices we were curious about, Mr. Afton.
So first of all, a confirmation that William Afton is the name of Purple Guy in the games. Secondly, we seem to now be told that William Afton made Baby. This board member is questioning certain design choices. So, one, maybe Baby is dangerous for some reason. Two, it seems like even if Henry made Baby fast, he again took a robot system and did more parts than William Afton is British, and that is so smart. I love this kind of thing. Literally everything in the series so much smarter. Sister location proper, then
welcome to the first day of your exciting new career. Whether you were approached at a job fair, read our ad and screws, bolts, and hairpins, or if this is the result of a dare, we welcome you. I will be your personal guide to help you get started. I'm a Model 5 of the Handyman Robotics and Unit Repair System. You can call me Handy. Your new career promises challenge, intrigue, and endless janitorial opportunities. Please enter your name as seen above the keypad. This cannot be changed later. It seems that you had some trouble with the keypad. I see what you were trying to type, and I will auto-correct it for you. One moment. Welcome, Eggs Benedict.
Whoa, hold on there, fella. The guy we're playing as is named Mike. So the theory that Fritz Smith is Mike Schmidt and also the security guard in FNAF 3, and that all of them are also Foxy Bro, only came about after this game. The evidence was there all along, but the idea wasn't sparked in anyone's mind until we realized that the series might have reoccurring characters. I also think this was Scott kind of waving his hand in front of everyone and going like, hey guys, you didn't figure out who the player character was in the last game, let me just point it out for you.
Allow me to fill this somewhat frightening silence with some light-hearted banter. Due to the massive success, and even more so the unfortunate closing of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, it was clear that the stage was set, or pun intended, for another contender in children's entertainment. Unlike most entertainment venues, our robotic entertainers are rented out for private parties during the day, and it's your job to get the robots back in proper working order before the following. Morning.
Now we had this discussion back in 3. Closing up Freddy Fazbear's Pizza referred to 3 different times. After the first closing in 85, the second in 87, or the third in 92. So this company came into existence after Freddy's closed. We already know that Foxy and Freddy are part of this game's cast, and that another restaurant called Chica's Party World exists. So the characters have been folded into this sister company. With all of that said, Hand Unit says the rental business, Circus Baby Entertainment and Rental, opened after Freddy's closed.
Our robotic entertainers are rented out for private parties during the day.
Meaning that Circus Baby's Pizza will exist up in these parties. And thus technically, it is a location that was active during the time of FNAF 3's tapes. It could be where the Springlock accident happened. But if it is, the game never tells you. In the next room, the main office area, we see 2 windows on either side. There is gallery area. And it asks us to shop for more on time. As you go through the venue, the voice tells you that the motion tested exactly where you are, the vent.
Motion trigger. Circus gallery vent.
I'm glad that they told us that. Definitely will not be terrifying later in the game when it says that there's motion in the vent that we're not in. It's scary, and it scares me. You then shock Baby 3 times, but you don't see her. You are then told that your shift is over. You then go home and you just watch some TV. I'm going to wait to talk about all of these scenes at the end of the video, but just know that after every shift, you watch a small clip of The Immortal and the Restless.
Welcome back for another night of intellectual stimulation, pivotal career choices, and self-reflection on past mistakes. We're committed to creating a unique and fulfilling work experience. One part of that commitment is ensuring that you don't get tired of the voice that you're hearing right now. Using the keypad below, please select a new companion voice. It seems that you had some trouble with the keypad. I see what you were trying to type, and I will autocorrect it for you. Thank you for choosing Angsty Teen.
Haha, so now the helper voice is going to be an angsty teen. How not annoying at all.
The elevator stopped. You know the routine. You can get out now or whatever. So, funny story. A dead body was found in this vent once. Okay, so not that funny, but it's a story.
So that means that one of the previous maintenance guys died.
That's rough, buddy.
You should check on Ballora and make sure she's on her stage, but whatever. Huh. I guess Ballora has better things to do. Let's zap her. That should be fun.
If you correct the audio in the scene, you can hear him say argumentative, standards, elevation, passive. This, of course, means nothing, but it is acronymized as ASEF, as in, ASEF is not a phase. It's not a phase, Mom, because I'm an